now it came to pass that in the 363rd year, the Nephites did go up with their armies to battle against the Lamanites out of the land Desolation. And it came to pass the armies of the Nephites were driven back again to the land of Desolation. And while they were yet weary, a fresh army of the Lamanites did come upon them. And they had a sore battle, insomuch that the Lamanites did take possession of the city Desolation, and did slay many of the Nephites, and did take many prisoners.
And the remainder did flee and join the inhabitants of the city Teancum. Now the city of Teancum lay in the borders by the seashore, and it was also near the city Desolation. And it was because the army of the Nephites went up to the Lamanites that they began to be smitten. For were it not for that, the Lamanites could have had no power over them. Their pride.
Stupid pride. But behold, the judgments of God will overtake the wicked, and it is by the wicked that the wicked are punished. For it is the wicked that stir up the hearts of men unto bloodshed. What did the teacher say yesterday?
Exactly that, isn't it?
What did he say?
The wicked will destroy the wicked, but Heavenly Father uses wicked people sometimes to teach us lessons. Not because he wants to, but because the wicked people will destroy the wicked, so it's there to test us. We've had a lot of wicked people in our lives, right? And we have prevailed because we set aside our pride and come unto the Lord.
And it came to pass that the Lamanites did make preparations to come against the city of Teancum.
And it came to pass in the 364th year, the Lamanites did come against the city of Teancum, that they might take possession of the city of Teancum also. And it came to pass that they were repulsed and driven back by the Nephites. And when the Nephites saw that they had driven the Lamanites, they did again boast to their own strength, and they went forth in their own might and took possession again of the city Desolation.
And now all these things had been done, and there had been 1,000 slain on both sides, both the Nephites and the Lamanites. And it came to pass that 366 years had passed away, and the Lamanites came again the battle, Nephites to battle, and yet the Lamanites repented not of the evil they had done, but persisted in their wickedness continually.
So it is pretty late here, which is why he's stifling a yawn. But, if you don't manage to read your scriptures during the day, you can always do it at night.
We usually do it during the day. Well, the street lights, the searchlights are on. Do you see them?
Ah.
Yeah, because it's so late. They're looking for Batman. All we got is Teancum over here.
And it's impossible for the tongue to describe, or for man to write a perfect description of the horrible scene of the blood and carnage which was among the people, both the Nephites and the Lamanites, and every heart was hardened, so that they delighted in the shedding of blood continually. And there never had been so great wickedness among all the children of Lehi, nor even among all the house of Israel, according to the words of the Lord, as was among the people. I think it's important to note here, just before Christ died and was resurrected, the 3 days that were dark, a lot of the people were killed. These were the people that had the potential. These were the righteous ones of them that didn't deny the Lord, that were surviving. Now they've denied the Lord, even though they saw him. Their great-great-grandfather saw him. It's sad, isn't it?
Yeah. And it came to pass that the Lamanites did not take possession of the city Desolation, and this because their numbers did not exceed the Nephites. Well, that's just like Laman and Lemuel. They saw the angel and they're like,
yeah.
If you saw the angel, would you pay more attention?
Seeing is not believing in my eyes. Faith is what keeps me going. The miracles that I've had in my life. But if I saw it, I would like to think that I wouldn't deny it ever. But I'm a natural man, I'm human, and I do make mistakes, believe it or not.
And they also, that's me, right?
Yeah.
And they also did march forward against the city of Teancum, and did drive the inhabitants from her, and did take many prisoners, both women and children, did offer up them as sacrifices unto their idol gods.
And it came to pass that in the 367th year, the Nephites, being angry because the Lamanites had sacrificed the women and the children, that they did go against the Lamanites with exceedingly great anger, insomuch that they did beat again the Lamanites and drive them out of their lands. And the Lamanites did not come again against the Nephites until 375th year. So what's the women and children?
And in this year they did not come against the Nephites with all their powers, and they were not numbered because of the greatness of their number. And this time forth did the Nephites gain no power over the Lamanites, but began to be swept off by them, even as a dew before the sun. I almost hit my head in the lights. Look at those lights are hot.
And it came to pass that the Lamanites did come down against the city Desolation. And there was an exceedingly sore battle fought in the land Desolation, in which they did beat the Nephites. And they fled again from before them, and they came to the city Boaz, and there they did stand against the Lamanites with exceeding boldness, insomuch that the Lamanites did not beat them until they had come again the second time.
And when they had come again the second time, the Nephites were driven and slaughtered with an exceedingly great slaughter. Their women and their children were again sacrificed unto idols. And it came to pass that the Nephites did again flee before them, taking all the inhabitants with them, both in towns and villages.
That's quite a heathen thing to do, isn't it? Like sacrifice a human.
Yeah.
Do you think it's like a literal sacrifice, or do you think they mean like sacrifice them to get gain? Like they just kind of didn't fight and...
I think they killed him when they said this is in honor of the monkey god or whatever.
And now I, Mormon, seeing that the Lamanites were about to overthrow the land, therefore I did go to the hill Shim, and did take up all the records which Ammoron had hid up unto the Lord.
Well, according to Teancum here, they said there was 4 key themes in this chapter. Do you know what they are? Any idea? Teancum told me. Judgment and consequences. The Nephites are blessed for their righteousness. They now face judgment due to their pride and iniquity. Their downfall serves as a cautionary tale, showing how societies that turn away from righteousness eventually face natural and spiritual consequences. What else did he tell you?
Pride cycle, isn't it?
The pride cycle, yeah.
The cycle of vengeance. Ooh, tell me about that.
This chapter shows how vengeance and retaliation can spiral out of control, consuming both the Nephite and Lamanite nations. Neither side seeks peace, and their pursuit of vengeance leads to their mutual destruction.
Can I just say something here? Like, you know, I was talking about those people that were saved, the righteous part of the people that were saved, as we learned in 3rd Nephi. So among them were Lamanites and Nephites, but they were all children of God, right? I think did we talk about this recently? So they were all children of God. So they were Nephites and Lamanites, but they were all the righteous people. So instead of their heritage or where they come from, they were just known as children of God. And now, because they're divided again, they've called themselves ites again to like separate them.
Yeah, a couple of chapters ago they said the ites are back, right?
But Heavenly Father, when Christ came, He treated them as equals. They were all equal. They all shared everything. They rejoiced together. There was no disputations among them. Like they were just brothers and sisters.
It's like me and you.
So just a few generations and that divide has happened again.
Yeah.
Now it's vengeance, but it's back to heritage again. It's back to you're this person and not our people.
He'd be a Kodaite.
Hey, Kodaite.
The loss of divine protection. Mormon notes that because of the Nephites' wickedness, there were no longer any divine protection. This highlights a core belief in the Book of Mormon that divine protection is closely linked to righteousness, and turning away from God leads to
vulnerability.
What else we got in this chapter?
Mormon. You see his love for his people, but he's also
sad.
Really sad. He can see, do you know what? He can see the God of sorrow, but he doesn't yet have the plates. So when he gets the plates, he's going to then read of the prophecies of Samuel the Lamanite and the prophecies of Abinadi, saying that these people are going to fall into wickedness even after Christ has come. So at that point he doesn't have them.
And Coda told us that the Book of Mormon is a somber chapter, warning of the dangers of pride, vengeance, and forgetting one's own spiritual roots. It emphasizes that societies need moral grounding and faith in God to avoid destruction, and that the absence of these leads inevitably to decline and sorrow.
Sadness.
That's it. Like, subscribe, and share.
End of the chapter. Somber chapter.
Yep. We'll see you next time on Coda Club.
Scripture Club.